A pretty big majority of Borderlands 3's best weapons come from its various DLCs, with weapons like the Free Radical, Light Show, and Plasma Coil all being locked behind a DLC. However, the base game still comes with a bunch of really powerful weapons. Hey everyone, I'm Constant Canadian, and these are the best base game weapons in Borderlands 3. If you enjoy this video, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Starting off the list, we have the Phasor. The Phasor is an assault rifle manufactured by Vladof that comes in every element. This weapon is pretty unassuming at first, with low damage, fairly low accuracy and handling, and a pretty decent sized magazine. However, the Phasor also comes with a unique underbarrel shotgun guaranteed, and it's this shotgun that puts the Phasor on the list. The Phasor's underbarrel shotgun is insanely powerful, dealing upwards of 400,000 damage per shot if all of the projectiles land on target, which is pretty easy to do since the shotgun's projectiles deal splash damage. The only real downside to this weapon is the low magazine size of the shotgun, but that can be remedied fairly easy, as reloading the main weapon will also reload the shotgun as well. If you want the Phasor for yourself, it drops from Atomic on the Tazendir Ruins map on Necro-Defeo. Next on the list is the Speedload and Hellwalker. The Speedload and Hellwalker is a shotgun manufactured by Jacobs that is locked to the fire element, but don't let that fool you, it's still insanely powerful. This weapon used to be at best a B tier weapon with okay damage, but thanks to an update on September 3rd, 2020 that increased its damage by 317%, it's now an S tier weapon for sure. The Hellwalker is a reference to the Doom franchise, as it's modeled after the game's iconic shotgun and plays a demonic guitar riff reminiscent of the franchise every time you shoot it. It also shoots in a pentagram pattern, which is cool. The Hellwalker is a super easy farm as well, as it has literally zero variation in parts, so the only thing that changes at higher levels is the anointment, making it one of the easier ways to start off your Mayhem mode journey. If you want one for yourself, it drops from Road Dog on the Splinterlands map on Pandora. Up next is another weapon that used to just be okay, until it got a big old buff that carried it to the top, the Trevonator. The Trevonator is a shotgun manufactured by Maliwan that's available in all elements. This gun is actually named after a Borderlands fan, Trevor Eastman, who was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer. Trevor requested that Gearbox let him play an early build of the game just in case he wasn't around for it, and he even got to name this weapon after himself. Sad story aside, the Trevonator is an exceptional weapon, even more so after an buff on November 9th that more than doubled its damage. The Trevonator shoots a 3-round burst of up to 6 projectiles, which all do a decent amount of splash damage. It's essentially like if you took the Phasor's underbarrel shotgun and made it its own weapon, with burst fire. If you want one for yourself, it drops from Private Beans on Athenas, during or after the mission Invasion of Privacy. Next on the list, we have the Chosin. The Chosin is a legendary SMG manufactured by Dahl that is available in all elements as well as every firing mode. This weapon has moderately high damage and fire rate, but low accuracy, handling, and mag size, making it better suited for close range combat. And it does close range combat very well. The Chosin shoots a sticky bullet that deals splash damage on impact, and shortly after that will explode, dealing splash damage again, which makes each bullet fired from this gun essentially worth 2. The Chosin is essentially what a full auto Torg SMG would look like if they existed in this game, and it is really powerful, especially with Zane and Moze considering the splash damage. If you want one for yourself, it drops from Captain Trant on Athenas, but only on Mayhem 6 and higher. Coming up next is another favorite of Zane mains everywhere. Man, that is so fun to say. And that is the OPQ System. The OPQ System is a legendary assault rifle manufactured by Atlas that is locked to no element, at least according to the item card anyway. The OPQ System actually has a random chance to cause a massive shock explosion when hitting the target, dealing splash damage. The secondary firing mode on the OPQ System also allows you to create a copy of this gun as a drone that follows you around and attacks whatever you attack. The biggest downside to this weapon is its low accuracy and handling, and the fact that its shock explosions can also deal damage to the player as well. However, that can be countered and even exploited by simply wearing a Transformer shield, which will heal the player for any shock damage they get dealt. The OPQ System is insanely powerful in the hands of Zane's clone, but is an all-around really useful weapon with every character as long as you wear the Transformer. If you want one for yourself, it drops from any of the cartel underbosses throughout the game. Just make sure you have the cartel event turned on and you'll get one soon enough. Up next is the Sandhok, a sniper rifle manufactured by Dahl that comes in all elements as well as all fire modes. The Sandhok is insanely powerful with absurdly high damage, pretty low accuracy for a sniper admittedly, and a large mag size, as well as a decently fast reload speed. Instead of firing just one projectile, the Sandhok fires 7 separate projectiles in the shape of a bird that fly super fast and deal splash damage upon impact. The Sandhok has the single highest per shot damage of any sniper rifle in this game, and provided that you have the semi-auto fire mode, the spread is tight enough to land all 7 projectiles on target. Now, there's 2 pretty major downsides to this weapon. Firstly, the Sandhok deals splash damage, so if you're close to your target, it's pretty easy to down yourself. And secondly, the ammo consumption. The Sandhok consumes 3 ammo per shot, and unlike in Borderlands 2, it is a sniper rifle, so its ammo capacity is at most 204 bullets, which means that at max capacity, you're only getting 68 shots before you're out of ammo. However, considering ammo in Borderlands 3 is very easy to come by if you have a bullet vamp artifact, it really isn't too big of a deal, especially if you're Mose. The Sandhok is super powerful with everybody, and if you want one for yourself, it drops from Katagawa Jr. on the Atlas HQ map on Promethea on Mayhem 6 or higher. Next up is the Rowen Call, an assault rifle manufactured by Jacobs that is available in shock, radiation, and fire element. The Rowen Call is one of Borderlands 3's best assault rifles, with insanely high damage and a decent accuracy, handling, and fire rate. When you score a critical hit with this weapon, it not only returns 2 bullets to your magazine, but also ricochets 2 bullets towards your nearest enemy, dealing splash damage. The Rowen Call is just an absolute beast of a weapon, and if your aim is good enough, can be fired forever without ever needing to be reloaded. This weapon doesn't really have any downsides and performs amazingly in everyone's hands. If you want one for yourself, it drops from Red Rain on the Slaughter 3000 map. However, farming them is a pain, so maybe just farm your favorite boss for some world drops instead. Up next is the only non-legendary on this list, the Crit. The Crit is a purple SMG locked to shock element, but don't be fooled by that, it is still super powerful. The Crit used to be just another worthless purple weapon, until a hotfix in February of 2021, where its damage was buffed by an insane 540%, which might just be the biggest buff in Borderlands 3 history. Needless to say, that buff made the Crit super powerful, and it is now one of the best SMGs in the game. Upon reloading, this weapon has a very small 5% chance to drop from your hands rather than actually reload. And while this does sound annoying, in an entire round of Slaughter Shaft, it only actually dropped out of my hands once. The Crit also has 8% lifesteal on all of its damage due to being a Moxie weapon. With its insanely high damage, high fire rate, mag size, and lifesteal, the Crit makes for an absolutely amazing weapon on any character, especially those who can overcome its minor shortcomings like shock exclusivity or sometimes dropping on reload. If you want one for yourself, it's obtained by tipping Moxie over on Sanctuary until she mails you this weapon. After that, we have the DNA, a legendary SMG manufactured by Maliwan that is locked to all elements. The DNA shoots 2 orbs attached by an elemental beam that deals damage as it passes through the enemy, sort of like a vertical Cutsman. However, unlike the Cutsman, the DNA has insanely high damage thanks to a few choice buffs that gave it almost 200% extra damage, as well as a pretty moderate fire rate. Additionally, the DNA's projectiles are always going to be a random element, meaning that while the item card says it's non-elemental, it's technically all elements. The DNA is an extremely formidable SMG and performs best on Amara, although it will still do good with anybody. If you want one for yourself, it drops from General Trant on the Desolation's Edge map on Necrodefeo on Mayhem 6 or higher. Before we get into the number 1 entry, there are a couple of honorable mentions for this list. Firstly, the Masterwork Crossbow, which has the 3rd highest damage of any sniper rifle in the game, but a mag size of 1 and an arcing trajectory, which makes it very difficult to use in almost any situation. And second is the Monocle, another sniper rifle that has a crazy high crit modifier, making it insanely good for critical hits, but pretty bad for almost everything else. And finally, quite possibly one of the best base game weapons in Borderlands 3, the Butcher. The Butcher is a legendary shotgun manufactured by Hyperion that is available in all elements and is incredibly powerful. The Butcher has been a good weapon since the launch of Borderlands 3, but thanks to an 83% buff to its damage in June of 2021, it is now absolutely insane. When firing the Butcher, there is a large chance that it will add a random amount of ammo to your magazine instead of taking ammo away. And when I say large, I mean large. Like, more often than not large. The fact that it happens so often, combined with it being any random amount, basically means that you'll almost never actually have to reload this shotgun. But it's not that impressive by itself to have nearly infinite ammo. I mean, the Infinity Pistol does too, and it sucks. But the Butcher also has super high damage and a super fast fire rate on top of the nearly infinite ammo, making it a true never-ending bullet hose of destruction. If you want one for yourself, you have two options. Farm Titan in the Slaughter Shaft, which sucks, or farm Dinklebot on Skywell 27 for lootograms and trade those with Crazy Earl on Sanctuary for a chance to get this amazing weapon, which still sucks, but a little bit less than farming Titan. So there you have it, 10 of the best base game weapons in Borderlands 3. Are there any others that I've missed on this list? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, have a fantastic day.